Hello friends, in this tutorial we are going to create these nice Glassmorphism cards theme section where you can see a header section with some curved bottom and an image. Down below you can see some text, and at the bottom of the card there are social media icons with some horror effect. So creating these cards are pretty simple and easy. Now let's start creating the cards. Okay, I have all these files in the same folder. There is the HTML file, the models images, the images for the social media icons, and the blob images for the background. Okay, let's define the basic structure of the page. Title will be Glassmorphism cards. Inside the body tag, we will define a div with class equal to blob, and inside the blob class we will define two images, blob1.jpg with class equal to blob1, and second image blob2.jpg with class equal to blob2. Let's save this. Open the browser and you can see two blob images. Now let's write the CSS for this. I'm using internal CSS. Select all elements, margin 0, padding 0, and box sizing border box. Now select the body element. Width will be 100%, height 100 viewport height, background color blue, background image linear gradient 45-degree angle, first color, and the second color will be transparent. Display will be flex. Justify content center, and align items center. And there you can see a gradient background. Now let's resize and position the blob images. So target the images, position will be absolute, width will be 500 pixels, and height will be 500 pixels. Now copy the blob1 class. Top will be 40 pixels, left 50 pixels, and target the class blob2. Bottom will be 100 pixels and right 90 pixels. Save this. With this, our background is set. Now let's define the container of the card. So inside the body, after the blob class, we will add another div with class equal to card. We will write the CSS for the card, copy it. Width will be 300 pixels, height will be 420 pixels. Now the below lines will define the actual Glassmorphism effect of the card. Background will be white and 0.15 opacity. Box shadow will be black and 0.1 opacity. Let's add a blur effect. Blur 4 pixels. Border will be 1 pixel solid, white and 0.3 opacity. Border radius will be 15 pixels. Margin will be 0 pixels from the top and bottom, 15 pixels from the right and left. Translation 0.5 seconds. Okay, now we have a nice Glassmorphism card at the center of the page. Now let's add the content of the card. So inside the card class, we will add a div with class equal to header. This will be the header of the card. We will write the CSS for the header section. Copy the header. Width will be 100% of the card. Height 200 pixels. Background color will be white. 0.05 opacity. Clip path circle. The clip path property will define the round bottom of the header section. Display will be flex. Justify content center. Align items center. So there we have the header section of the card with a round bottom, and now we need to add an image in the header section. So we will add an image inside the header section. Refresh the browser and you can see the image is too big. We will resize this with CSS. So target the image element. Inside the header there is an image. Width will be 120 pixels, height will be 120 pixels, border radius 50%, and object width cover. And now we have a nice round image on the header section. With this, our header section is completed. Now let's add the text of the card below the header section. So after the header class, we will add another div with class equal to content. Inside the content class, we will have an h2 element with text equal to Hannah, an h4 element with text equal to web designer, and a paragraph. Okay, now let's style the text. Copy the content class, paste it. So color will be white, text align center. Okay, now let's add some style to the h2 element. Target the h2 element. Font size 32 pixels. Margin top will be -10 pixels. Now let's add some spacing to the other text. Target the h4 element. Font size 10 pixels. Margin top will be 5 pixels. Also add some style for the paragraph. Padding will be 10 pixels. With this, our second section of the card is completed. Now let's add the social media icons on the bottom of the card. So after the content class, we will add another div with class equal to footer. Inside the footer class, we will add 3 different images for different social media icons. Copy the same. The second will be YouTube and third will be Twitter. you can see the images are too big. We will fix this and resize it with CSS. Now copy the footer class, text align, center. Now target the images inside the footer class. Width will be 30 pixels, height 30 pixels, margin will be 0 from the top and bottom, 10 pixels from the left and right, cursor will be pointer. And now we have nice little social media icons. Next, we need to add margin top to the social media icons to push it down. Inside the footer class, margin top 10 pixels. Okay, now the last things to add is a hover effect to the icons. Copy it, unhover, transform scale 1.3. And now we have a nice hover effect on the icons. So the very last thing to add is a transition 0.5 seconds. And you can see now the icons are scaling up smoothly. So with this, our first card design is completed. Now we will add 2 more cards. To add another card, we do not need to write any code. We will copy and paste the same code and modify the details of the card. So let's go to the code editor. Copy the whole card class. And paste it down below. Save this and refresh the browser and you can see the second card. Now we need to change the image, the name and the position. So change the image to model 2. Name will be John Doe. And position will be front-end developer. Refresh the browser and there is our second card. Now let's define the third card. Copy the same code and paste it. Change the details. Image will be model 3. Name will be Perry. And position will be backend developer. Save this. Refresh the browser and there is our third card. Now the very last thing to do is we need to add a hover effect to the cards. In the CSS, find the class card, copy it, unhover, transform rotate 5 degrees. Save this. Refresh the browser and now we have a nice rotating hover effect on the cards. So that's it for this tutorial. I hope you will enjoy this class and also thank you for watching.